So you want to be a dungeon master?
So, you want to be a dungeon master.
So you want to be a DM?
Name some feats, okay? Feats.
So you want to
gonna
be a
take it.
DM?
That's great. We're here to help. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Justin. This week, we're going to be covering the 2024 Warlock, gang. What's changed? What's stayed the same? Is it all, at the end of the day, meaningless in a sort of nihilistic, point of view? Well, we're going to go over the whole class, 4 subclasses in this episode. So sign your name on the dotted line, invoke those eldritch horrors, and use those spell slots wisely. It's Warlock 2024. Let's get into it. But first, like a balloon going off. Taylor, we have an email from Grant. Checking the inbox. So pleasantly surprised when we get a response from somebody who isn't trying to sell us fake followers on a social media platform. Hey guys, stop. I'm just going to keep blocking
Not
you.
interested.
XYZ,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck you are. Okay.
Yeah.
But Grant is a real person, and this is an awesome email, and I'm going to read it as fast as I can because it's a little lengthy. Howdy, y'all. As a first-time DM, I stumbled across your podcast in a desperate attempt to learn how to run a campaign for my 2 buddies, and I, after a large group, up to 12 players at times, too many people, first of all, fell apart for some reason. It's because you had 12 people. Okay.
Yeah.
The
Sorry.
tips and info you provide here have been most helpful, and I feel more prepared and equipped as a DM. Love to hear it. Here's my issue. When I was chosen to be the DM, I decided I wanted to run Curse of Strahd. Had heard good things about it. The other players were on board, and I figured a pre-made adventure might be the best for me as a baby DM. For simplicity, I allowed my players, each with 2 characters, making it a party of 4, to keep their existing characters from the previous group for this adventure if they wanted to. They all agreed, and our party consisted of a Circle of the Moon Druid, Hexblade Warlock / Vengeance Paladin, Twilight Domain Cleric, and a Fighter. Where I really goofed up was not realizing that they all had magical weapons going in, making most of the weapon attacks to most creatures full strength. Additionally, the tarot card reading placed the Sun Sword early on in the campaign, so they were able to acquire it quickly and have been putting it to use. As a result, no matter what creature and monsters I throw at them, they are tearing through them with relative ease. Goodness gracious. Grant, what are you doing to me? Juice box. Example. In our last session, they encountered 6 vampire spawn, 18 wolves. Whoa, that's more than 2d4. And Strahd himself, and only one of them dropped to 0 hit points before being healed. They're all up to level 6 now. We're only about 30% of the way through the campaign, and it is my belief that they could head for Castle Ravenloft and likely succeed at defeating Strahd. Despite not having any of the other allies or magical items that they're supposed to find in Barovia first, I think their chance of success would still be high. So my question is, what should I do in this situation? I hate to fudge dice rolls or be dishonest in any way when it comes to encounters, but there doesn't seem like much else I can do to slow them down at this point. The guys tell me they're having a blast in between sessions, and I'm tempted to let them storm the castle and finish the campaign if they choose to do so. Would love to get your thoughts on this, and I apologize for the lengthy letter. Hey, forgiven. Cordially, Roscoe Longtree, protector of the realm of corn, aka Grant from Iowa. Well, heck of a question.
Well, golly. Yeah. So a
So
lot of
there's
things here. There's a lot here.
several
Lot
points
unpacked.
that I think we would make in this
Okay.
situation that you find yourselves in. The first is, this is normal. The exact situation you're finding yourself in is so standard for
I did it.
for even this can happen to a veteran DM where you just kind of like fudge the numbers a little bit. And I don't mean fudge like whatever. What I mean is like you can mess up the numbers a little bit and be like, oh shit, this encounter is too easy. It's too hard, whatever. That happens all the time. But there are some things
Little tweaks.
that are a little avoidable.
Yeah. And we're not gonna harp on you about them because you're, like you said, a baby DM, and it's okay. It happens. So the biggest thing is the magic items, I think, is what their biggest concern is. And there's a couple of routes that you can do it. You can either A, concoct some way to remove their items from them and then have a quest for them to retrieve their stuff. Which would immediately drop the thing back in your favor. I'm not sure what your um kind of plot reasoning was for bringing in characters from an old campaign into your situation. Storytelling, that like that bit, I don't really. That's awesome. Go ahead, do it. It's fine.
Yeah,
But
because I'm pretty sure it kind of just starts with like you're like in Barovia and you're like, how did I get here with the
right,
mist? And then you're like, I can't
yeah,
get
yeah,
out,
yeah,
right? It's
yeah.
kind of just like
So
that. So
that's
yeah.
yeah. Go. That's totally fine. But I do think I'll make a reference to a really good video game series, the Metroid series. They do it every single goddamn game. Every single game, Metroid's or not Metroid. Samus starts the game fully powered. Not most of the games. Fully powered power suit. You go start doing something, and then there's a fight. She loses, and then she loses all of her stuff. And then the whole game basically is her trying to just repower her fucking suit so that she can go fight the next big bad. So I think
Yeah.
something along those lines could be done. Another thing that could be done, if you don't want to take the items away from the players, is to just tweak your stat blocks a little bit. Rather than it being
hmm
non-magical piercing, bludgeoning, slashing, now it's all piercing, bludgeoning, slashing. Bang, you got your resistance back.
Yeah.
Sunlight sickness,
Big
you can
time.
bang, you can do something about sunlight sickness. Maybe they're a special breed of vampire spawn that they're creating that can walk in sunlight or something along those
That's
lines.
exactly what I was thinking is like
Yeah.
what you're going to find, especially like some of the things like being like 18 wolves, like they made 18 wolves look really easy. I've
Mhm.
said it in some episodes where like when the players get to a certain level and they have a certain AC, when they're especially if they're like min max, because if this was from a previous adventuring
Right.
party, like then it kind of depends on how they rolled stats. It depends on what you mean by they brought their characters over. Did they bring their characters over whole cloth, numbers and all, magic
Right.
items and all? Or was it a little bit of like, hey, you still have to start at the level that Strahd says you're supposed to start at, and also if I want now to roll for stats versus point buy versus this,
Right.
did that change in the transfer over? But I also think like 18 wolves at a certain point isn't it really a challenge? It doesn't matter how many wolves there are because if they
They
can't
can't hit
hit,
anything.
then they're
Yeah.
not doing damage and it just becomes a slog of the combat.
Mhm.
Whereas what you could do is even just having 3 wolves and making them winter wolves. Now they have a breath weapon. They can do so much more. They speak common, so it's a little bit more interesting of a fight because they can speak during the fight. There's so much more you can do with like the stat blocks being a little more interesting. And there's nothing to say, like, there's fudging the dice and feeling bad about quote unquote lying. But then there's also like um just changing the way the book so that if the book says you at this point must fight wolves, fudge them, man, fuck them. Who cares what
Yeah.
they've said you
Yeah.
have to?
Yeah.
And that would be true if Taylor and I wrote the book. I would
Mhm.
say the exact same thing. if
Yeah.
if Taylor and I wrote, okay, now you're in Sphinx City and at this point you're supposed to fight this gang, and for your guys' story, that kind it doesn't make sense for the gang to be in the greenhouse at this point, then
Yeah.
change it. Who the fuck, we don't give a
Yeah.
shit. That might not change the
Yeah.
canon, but like,
Right. Right. Right.
but who gives a shit? Like that's just
Right.
your personal playthrough. So like, always have fun with that. Never feel
Mhm.
like you need to be so beholden to the source material, um, from like a creative
There's a lot of
standpoint.
free resources too for better or yeah, just better, stronger stat blocks that still
Yeah, find something that's
meet the
just
aesthetic of what you're going
a
for.
CR above and just changing it a little bit here and
Mhm.
there. And
Mhm.
also, the one thing that I also think is interesting and I can understand it from a scheduling and just like a logistics standpoint, is having, obviously it's just Grant playing with two of his friends, and each
Right.
friend is playing two characters.
Yeah.
That I think will always go a little, if the players are down for that kind of stuff, then it goes in the players' favor because they can team up. Their like combo moves, if you will, are so much better.
Right, right, right.
Like, man, the 1-2 punches I could give myself if I
Right.
was playing two characters, dude. It
The
would be like
the 1-2
I
punches I
almost would
have given
intentionally
myself.
build.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a 2 build around that entire thing of like this
Mhm.
1-2 punch. It would be like a grave cleric that can make it so that the next attack is all vulnerable damage. And then I would go assassin rogue and just be like, doop, like 200 damage. It's an auto crit, vulnerable damage, double the damage. Like, you're fucked.
Yep,
But
yep, yep.
so
Yeah,
yeah.
and the other thing I would say as well is just be upfront and honest with your players. I know you're saying that they're saying that they're having a great time at the end of the sessions and all that stuff. That
Mm-hmm.
could also very well be true without their magical weapons. If you were to say, I'm not saying just like randomly start a session, go, okay, by the way, I'm taking all your stuff. Be like, hey guys, by the way, I'm realizing now I may have goofed and let you have all of your magic stuff. So I'm going to take it for a little bit and then we can do some questing and you can get all your stuff back.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it is important. Two things are important. Number one, if you're having fun and your friends are telling the truth and they're having fun, then technically you're not doing anything wrong.
Also
You're
true.
good, right? Like, you're
Right.
fine. Now, if you're not having fun, which is what I'm suspecting based on the length of this question, then yes, I think there's a conversation that could easily be had. If you don't feel comfortable changing the stats of monsters or adding in monsters that aren't necessarily in that like module material,
Mhm.
then yeah, I would scale back on their magic items.
Yeah.
Start there. Yeah,
So
I think
yeah,
it
I
just gets
think
easier over time. You start to, because like I have always experienced that. Like even when I'm like now, I've been a DM for so much longer and stuff. Still, like if I have a new adventuring party, aka players that I haven't really played with or characters that I haven't really played with, it is always a little bit of a learning curve,
Mhm.
right? Like if
Yeah.
Taylor
Plus
just
the
tomorrow decided to play a wizard, then it would be like, oh shit, okay, I don't know exactly what to expect with that.
Mhm.
Probably
Big
shield.
boobs. What do you mean? Probably, definitely shield.
Definitely shield.
Definitely shield. I might let it be my low. One of these days, I'll do a low AC character, and you'll be able to hit me, and it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Sure you will.
One of these days,
Sure you
buddy. One of
will.
these days. I should do it in Allie's game so that you don't have a chance to.
I'll find a way. I'll punch your character just to do it. I'm still trying to figure out my build fully because it's like I was going to go just for elements bender. This is like such a side topic. People don't even really know.
Yeah.
We have a home game thing that we're doing with friends and stuff. I'm trying to figure out what kind of character I want to make. On Pinterest, I found a artwork, like fan art of like a
Mm.
gender bent version of Gojo, and I was like, yeah, that's who I'm playing. That with the fucking blindfold and
Yeah.
peeking it up and being like bright blue eye. I was like, hell yeah, that's cool. And then I came up with this like assassin backstory, John Wick style, just like ashamed of my past. Like, I've done terrible things. You don't know what
And
these
then
hands have done. That kind of vibe.
right.
Um, I'm looking forward to it, but I have to look at the 2024 stuff, especially because Allie's trying to go buy the book.
Yeah.
Allie, oxen
I'm
free.
sure she's never heard that before.
Allie, oxen free. I
Yeah.
heard a video came across my feed the other day talking about nicknames for Megan. Where some of them were crazy. Megan be crazy. Okay. So let's get into the meat of the episode, but I actually have to do a blurb about the Patreon. Gang, the Patreon is incredible. There's so many cool magic items on there for free just for being a member of the gang. And then at the just $2 a month, and you get so many cool things. There's subclasses out the wazoo. There's the bonus action podcast episodes. For a little bit more, you can get the action surges where you get to see a little sneak peek behind the screens, us talking with the casts after each of the actual play sessions. So some cool stuff. And there's only more down the pipeline. So check it out. Okay, minute of the episode. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So we're talking warlocks. We're talking warlocks. Now, the thing I love about warlocks, first of all, we've gone over the 2014 one already. Go back and listen to that episode and the podcast. But I love how much story is baked into this class because it's such a well-defined class. You know how like ranger sometimes can be a little fluid about what makes a ranger a ranger. Like you can be like, oh yeah, it's a guy who's good at looking at the woods and shit. It's like maybe, but you could make a druid who's kind of like that too. But warlock is so defined. It's just you're making a deal with some powerful thing and you're getting powers in exchange for doing something for them. And it's back scratching, baby.
And it's totally not the same as a cleric. And don't say it's the same as a cleric because it's different.
It's so different.
It's so different. It's because it is. I only get 2 spell slots.
Yeah, it's hard. The spell slots, it's always going to be a gripe, and that will stay the same forever.
But I think so I do have a specific gripe, especially as a cleric main who has lovely, beautiful spell slots and can blow things up all the time. Warlocks having 2 spell slots doesn't hurt as much because of the invocations. So like having the 2 spell slots is like, dang. But also I can see in non-magical darkness I can see in magical darkness and I can push stuff and blow it up and I can add my charisma modifier to my cantrips and shit. Like it's good stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff with warlock.
Absolutely. Especially some of them work really well
what
together.
Cleric, but emo.
They work in tandem with each other. There's like entire builds where you can just focus your invocations in a specific direction and really, really light things up. But yeah, I agree that the 2 spell slots, which eventually becomes 4, I think.
You do
but
get
like
4
you
do get a 4.
And that doesn't include your Arcanum, little extra boosts, but still. And the short rest. Things recharge in a short rest, so you could have a lot of spell slots in a day, depending on how many short rests the DM lets you do. And there's other things with the subclasses. So it is very, very fun. It is a great role play opportunity. There's a lot baked into it. You can talk with your DMs and decide how involved you want the relationship to be. Like, is it one where you guys talk all the time, or is it kind of like, hey, long time no see? Anyway, fucking, how's it going getting all those souls? Your friends don't know about that, right? That you're killing people for souls? Those fucking idiots. Imagine if that was your patron.
Yeah.
It's like, hasn't talked to you in 2 weeks, finally chimes in. Like you're around the campfire, like eating food. Your eyes go wide. No one else can hear this but you. And there's just a voice in your head being like, those suckers, look at them eating their soup. They don't know you're a killer. You're a killer, aren't you? Todd, are you okay? Something wrong with the soup?
I'm good.
That's so good. So warlocks,
shaking
man.
soup slopping out of the side of the bowl.
I know. No, I'm fine. I do think so. Okay. So warlocks are a lot of fun. They're charisma casters. Makes sense. The power
Yep.
comes from the deal itself. So being able to negotiate, that potentially a huge thing. Um, although I do sometimes love to play. I don't think I've ever actually played a warlock that was in any way, shape, or form in a position of power when it came to making the deal with the other entity,
Oh, yeah,
where
yeah,
they were
yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, give me the power and then I'll help you, Asmodeus or whoever the fuck. Like,
Right,
I've
right.
never even thought about that, but it is a really interesting idea of like playing the warlock who was so good at deal making that actually it's not maybe this other entity is still like incredibly powerful, but like somehow they've evened the
Mhm.
playing field a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe they have something of theirs, or I don't know. But usually what I do is I play a warlock that's a little more either like desperate or gullible. That's been a really fun one too. I played a warlock one time that was just like gullible. So there's a demon lord in D&D lore called Frazer Blue. It's the weirdest name in the universe. I know. It's called
Sure, yeah.
he's the demon prince of deception, and he
Mm.
lies a lot. That's like his big thing. He's big into illusions and stuff. And so I made this whole thing up about this like old man named Ishmael who's on his deathbed, and this like angel comes to the window and is like, I am Gabriel, and I will heal you and give you everlasting strength if you swear yourself to me. And Ishmael was like, absolutely. Immediately, yes, you're an angel. I trust you 100%. And made a deal, and then but never questions why they get all the fiend subclass abilities. So
That's
like
so funny.
every time you kill somebody, you get 10
Well, what
hit
is
points from their soul or like fire spells. Like it's so funny. I love that character.
that is hilarious.
And just being like, I don't know, guys, if we should let that prisoner go. Gabriel says we should smoke him. It's
The
like, no,
angel said we
he's an
should just
angel.
cut
It
his head
must be the
off.
right thing to do.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's a pretty. I think it's really funny.
Mhm.
Um, I've also done that exact same character as an NPC, when the players meet Ishmael and he's like, "So I'm a warlock to Gabriel. He's an angel, no big deal." And then just like slowly as they fight alongside each other, you're like, a lot of brimstone for a lot of brimstone around
Lot
this
of,
guy.
smells an awful lot like
Interesting.
sulfur over here.
On a brimstone. Anyway, so
All right.
warlocks gang,
Yeah.
charisma,
Mhm.
D8 hit die, pretty basic. Saving throw proficiencies, you're looking at wisdom and charisma. Nothing really changes for this beginning stuff. Skill proficiencies, choose two out of the following: Arcana, Deception, History, Intimidation, Investigation, Nature, or Religion. Basic. Weapon
Mhm.
proficiencies, just simple weapons right out the gate. Um, I think that's kind of the same. I think it was.
Yeah.
That
Light
sounds right.
armor as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, and then starting equipment we haven't really been going over. I think we've mentioned it at the very first one, but the only difference between starting equipment is like in 2014 they gave you like an A option and a B option for a lot of categories, right? It
Right.
would always be like for example the barbarian would be like, do you want a great axe or
A sword and
two
shield.
other
Yeah.
martial weapons?
Right.
Do you want two hand axes or five javelins? Do you want a shield and a thing, or do you want an adventuring kit? And it was like all these different stuff. And now it's just, do you want this stuff, this one group of things, or money?
Right.
And that's it. So I think this is just a personal take. I think they've overcorrected some of this stuff. They've simplified things to make things so nice and easy for a new player, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, because they give you the money option too. So you could just go through if you wanted to and be more
Mhm.
specific, which is fine anyway. But it is an interesting little thing.
Yeah.
So level one warlocks, right off the bat, we're getting those eldritch invocations, baby.
Mhm.
We're getting
Love
them
that.
right the freak away, which
And
is
we're gonna
very
go
nice
through
because
every single one of them right now.
uh, Taylor, we simply can't. We don't have the time. And most of them that are still there from obviously there's
They're
like
the
ones
same.
that were added in
Mhm.
Xanathar's or maybe like Tasha's, and they're not, most of those aren't in there.
Mhm.
But most of the ones that you'll expect, Mask of Many Faces, Devil's Sight, blah, 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 they're all in there. Repelling Blast, Agonizing Blast, Thirsting Blade. The interesting thing about Eldritch Invocations is that with the change from having like third level across the board be when you get a subclass,
Mhm.
they have gotten rid of how warlocks work a little bit. So usually warlocks were able to get their subclass at level 1, and then at
Mhm.
level 3 they got to choose a pact. So that was Pact of the Tome, Pact of the Chain, Pact of the Blade.
Right.
Now those 3 types of pacts just count as eldritch invocations.
Yeah.
So you can take all of them if you want.
That's
There's nothing
wild.
stopping you.
That's wild.
And so it's really, really cool and interesting. I do love this. I think there's no downsides for the most part. I just think it's so fun. Um, I will say the nice thing is, man, talk about uh there are some really specific multi-class options here that are outrageous because you can get Eldritch Invocations at level 1.
Yeah.
That is pretty nuts. That is pretty nuts. Because granted, you're only getting 1 at level 1. At level 2, it immediately bumps up to 3. But still, that's crazy. Now, the things with do 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 um whoa, my brain just farted. The things with Eldritch Invocations is that there's sometimes prerequisites. It'll give you a level that you have to be in order to do that one, or sometimes you have to pick a previous invocation in order to get the upgraded version a little bit. You need Pact of the Blade in order to get Thirsting Blade, for
Right.
example.
Right. Right.
And then you can also, every time you level up, you can replace one with another one. But if you're trying to do Thirsting Blade, you always need to have Pact of the Blade as like another one of your
Yeah.
invocations. You can't be like, okay, now I got the upgraded one, I can get rid of the lower one. No, no, no. You still got to have it. But that is invocations, and then the only other thing is Pact Magic, which is just the fancy way of saying spell slots and spell
Yeah.
casting for Warlock specifically. It does count as its own thing in regards to multi-classing.
Yeah. 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 Your
Like
warlock
when you're
spell slots are
multi-classing,
different than
yeah, they
normal.
count as different spell slots. So
Mhm.
if you are a certain level warlock and you get 2 third level spell slots, and then you're a 8th level wizard, 3 from the wizard, 2 from the warlock, you have 5 level 3 spell slots. That's just how that
Yep.
works. It's
Yep.
fucking crazy. And the everything else is pretty much the same. I mean, cantrips, spell slots, you're changing spells when you level up.
Yep.
It's all pretty basic, right? Charisma is your spell casting. You can use an arcane focus if you would like to as a spell casting focus, but pretty basic warlock stuff right in the
Mhm.
beginning. How do we feel about the warlock spell list?
I'm gonna be real. I didn't know I was gonna be getting asked this question and put on the spot right now. So, medium. I'm gonna say
Yeah,
medium.
medium's
'Cause
fair. Medium's fair.
I totally know exactly what spells are on the warlock
I'll
spell
tell
list.
you. I'll read them all right now. So and I'm done. And
Yeah,
so
and I've got it
and if
pulled
you
up
slow
on
that
D&D
down, it's
Beyond. Yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
So What I will say is that there are some bangers on this list. For example, I'm looking at third level. Third level, there's a lot of great spells at that level. For warlocks, you're looking at counterspell, dispel magic, fear, fly, gaseous form, hunger of Hadar, hypnotic pattern, magic circle, major image, remove curse, summon fey, summon undead, tongues, and vampiric touch.
Mm-hmm.
So some really good ones. And we know that the subclasses are going to give extra spells that you can choose from. The hard part about being a warlock is you get so few spell slots that you have to just be really careful about how you decide to use those higher level spell slots. But you can always fall back on some of your cantrips, although, because that is one thing that we're going to discover is that there are some hyper specific eldritch invocations that have changed.
Mm-hmm.
And they've changed in quite an interesting way, I should say. Agonizing Blast is not what it once was. It doesn't just apply to
Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast. Agonizing Blast, you must be a level 2 warlock or above, and you need to have a warlock cantrip that deals damage. Choose one of your known warlock cantrips that deals damage. You can add your charisma modifier to that spell's damage rolls. Repeatable. You can gain this invocation more than once. Each time you do so, choose a different eligible cantrip.
Interesting.
Now, here's why that is interesting. Because the way that Eldritch Blast works, just as a spell, is very unique in terms of how far cantrips go.
Right.
If you cast Firebolt, it's 1d10 fire damage. And eventually it goes up to 2d10 and then 3d10 and then 4d10.
Right.
And so Eldritch Blast, 1d10 of damage. But when it goes up to 2d10, it's not a single blast that does 2d10. It's two separate blasts, each of which do 1d10. And therefore, if you're doing Agonizing Blast, most people would then add your charisma modifier to each of those blasts. So if your charisma modifier is a 5, then Eldritch Blast, once you're able to cast 4 times, that's 20 extra damage just from your modifier.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were to add that to Firebolt, it would just be 5. Because it's only just one blast.
One blast, yeah.
So that is an interesting thing about that particular Eldritch Invocation. They've given you the opportunity to add it to other cantrips like Firebolt, but you're significantly losing out. You're not getting the same value unless you're using it for Eldritch Blast, which is nothing new. We know that they're pretty hard trying to get you to use Eldritch Blast as a warlock with D&D. We've seen
especially
that since the beginning.
In 2024 because they locked it behind, like they locked you out of like being able to do what is it, the
magical adept or those different ways of getting it. Magical secrets. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's impossible to get unless
you can do wizard, cleric, or druid, and like that's pretty much the only spell list you're allowed to grab from.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. But if you want to with Warlock, you could do a lot of shit with Eldritch Blasting. It could be a lot of fun.
And I'm also
you just got to find a fun way to make it interesting for you over a long period of time if you're going to keep doing it. But then that's when you just like, hey, during combat, I just take out my guns and I just pop them off. And then out of combat, here I can use all my other spell slots. I can do all these other cool things before a short rest, I have an extra spell slot. Let me cast this cool scry spell. You know what I mean? Like you could be so useful in so many other ways. I think warlocks are a lot of fun, actually. A new thing at level 2, we get magical cunning. Magical cunning. Okay. Hey, we're talking about these spell slots. We're saying, dang it, we only get so many. Please, sir, can I have some more, sir? And they said, they obliged. And they said, yes, small child, You can perform an esoteric rite for 1 minute, and at the end of it, you regain expended packed magic spell slots, but no more than a number equal to half of your maximum level or your maximum number of like spell slots. So, and that's rounded up.
Mm.
So if you have 3 spell slots, then you can get back 2 in a 1 minute ritual. And then once you use this feature, you can't do it again until you finish a long rest, which makes sense. But hey, you can get back
Yeah.
a spell slot. It's a
Yeah.
really easy thing to be like, hey, before we go into that cave, can I let me just chill for a minute, do a little ritual, do a little rich, and get my spell slot back.
Yeah.
That's huge. I need those.
Yeah. Gotta have them esoteric rites in your life.
Mm-hmm. You need them. You need them. That's why we're fighting. We're fighting for our rights. At level 3, you get your Warlock subclass. And I have to just drive a
We're
train
just-
through it. Taylor, we have to just land the plane. And so at level 3, you get your Warlock subclasses, gang. And this is where it's interesting because most of them you can guess which ones they're going to bring back, and it's going to be the main 3 originals. And then out of all of the possible other patrons that they've come up with since 2014, they chose the Celestial, which I don't think is a bad choice. I think it's a great choice, actually, because I think it rounds out the other ones in a really nice way in terms of cosmology, but also mechanically, I think it's a really good subclass. I mean, we see it in our home campaign. It fucking crushes. Talk about a sleeper support character, you know?
Right.
But that being said, the Warlock is just like every other spellcaster in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to be mentioning a ton of things that the base class gets.
Right.
It's going to be a lot of ASI. It's going to be, level 4 ASI or feat, level 5. I think their spell slot level goes up or something. Their, proficiency bonus becomes a 3. Level 6 subclass feature, level 7 spell slot goes up, I think, 8 ASI or feat, level 9. This is new. This I think is fun.
Yeah.
Brand new.
Hot off the presses. Contact patron. At level 9, you're able to contact your patron. In the past, you usually contacted your patron through intermediaries. Now you can communicate directly. You always have the contact other plane spell prepared. And with this feature, you can cast the spell without expending a spell slot to contact your patron, and you automatically succeed on the spell saving throw. Once you cast the spell with this feature, you can't do it again until you finish the long rest.
Was that?
You good? Are you good? Do you need a minute? You gotta
No.
something you gotta wrap up on the phone.
No. It was somebody tried calling me from prison and I didn't accept the call. I didn't accept the collect call. So we can talk to the other plane. We can talk right to our patron. That's crazy.
Yep.
I think that's really, really fun. It does set up a little bit of interesting thing of being like, interesting. What exactly does this spell allow you to do? Contacting the otherworldly intelligence can break your mind. When you cast a spell, make a DC 15 intelligence saving throw. On a successful save, you can ask the entity up to 5 questions. You must ask your questions before the spell ends. You only have a minute. 5 questions in a minute. The DM answers each question with 1 word, such as yes, no, maybe, never, irrelevant, or unclear. If the entity doesn't know the answer to the question, if a 1-word answer would be misleading, the DM might instead offer a short phrase or an answer. On a failed save, you just take 66 psychic damage and have the incapacitated condition until you finish a long rest.
Damn.
Greater
That's
restoration.
brutal.
Can end this effect.
Brutal.
Well, that's fun.
So
I love
fun.
that.
That is fun. I feel like I would need to incorporate
I would do it every day.
I feel like I would need to incorporate like a chess clock in this situation because
Absolutely,
if it's a minute, I'm gonna
I'm playing a real clock. I'm
yeah.
gonna
But
like pick a
I need
song.
like
I think
I asked my question, then I hit a button, and now the clock, it's your clock. Doesn't count against my minute. Because if like
oh
as the DM, I feel like if I'm getting asked a question, I'm gonna take time to consider the answer that's going to count against the time of the player.
nope.
No, nope.
Ask better questions, lol. Get good, lol.
You
What do
get
you
good at
mean?
asking questions, nerd.
Yeah, freaking Plato, you are not. He's the one known for questions. No, he's not. I'm joking. Aristotle, who cares? These are just random dudes.
Yeah.
We don't. I feel sometimes I feel like the
So
only times the only reason we care about certain people in history is because they were written down, and it's like there
that's,
probably could have been like 10 people next to them who just weren't written about, and it's like we don't even know that they existed because they're not written down.
I mean,
It's
they must
crazy thinking
have.
about that.
They were teachers, so like you would think that there were other people,
Naturally,
naturally.
naturally,
But where
naturally.
is like Stu, who sat in the second row and shot spitballs at the chalkboard? Like, where's that guy?
He's in the government now. He's working for
Oh,
the government now,
that's
probably.
fair. Yeah,
Yeah,
that tracks.
he's a cop or something.
He's a cop. He joined ICE.
Fucking scum.
Anyway,
Scum. So
yeah,
that's level 9. You can contact your patron. I think that's really fun though. And you can cast a spell without spending a spell slot. And you automatically succeed on the spell saving throw. So you don't even have to worry about it once a
uh,
day. It's that second time that you get to really fuck with yourself.
I
Because I think that's
asking
fun.
5 questions of a god a day is not powerful enough. I have to do it 10 questions and possibly break my brain.
Hell
It's
yeah.
such a brutal downside though. Like this is one of those spells that I would almost only do if I had a spell slot left over right before a long rest.
Yeah.
Because you like, oh cool.
Realistically. But
Yeah.
it would be
It's a
fun.
little
I do
different
like
than
it.
it's in the same vein as divination, which is a spell I love.
Hmm.
Um but it's a little bit different in that it restricts to one word answers rather
Oh yeah,
than
yeah, yeah.
basically like in divination. Number one, there's no risk of my brain breaking, just I might not get good information if I kept spamming the spell.
Hmm.
uh, and then but just having the longer response I think is better, but you only get one question, so there's a give and a
Yeah,
take. It's like two sides of the same coin
it's
basically,
interesting.
which is
Yeah, I like
warlock and
it.
cleric in general.
Exactly. So at level 10, you just get your subclass feature. And then
Mhm.
at level 11, you start getting this really cool feature called Mystic Arcanum, which is how
Hail.
warlocks are going to be able to cast higher level spells. So here is where, right at level 11, you're going to get your 6th level spell slot. You choose one level 6 warlock spell. You can cast it without spending a spell slot, and then you have to finish a long rest before you can cast it again. And that's it. Because you only have up to 5th level for the sake of your
Pack
normal
slots.
warlock spells.
Yeah.
And so this operates a little bit outside of that, where it's just you can cast this one 6th level spell once a day, and that's it. And then later on at 13th level, you get the 7th level one. At
Mhm.
15th, you get an 8th level one, 17th, a 9th level one. And it's just as basic as that. Every time you gain another warlock level, you can switch one out. If you picked a 6th level spell and you're like, I'm never using it, switch it out. I'm
Mhm.
usually really lax with stuff like that. I want my players to feel like their spells are useful because I've been there before where you have a spell and you're like, I'm never using this spell. This sucks. But after that, it's just ASIs, Mystic Arcanum,
And
subclass
more,
feature,
yeah.
basic stuff until we get to 19th level where you get your epic Boon. Man, these
Boo!
epic boons, dude. They recommend the boon of fate. Whoa.
This is the
As
first
per
one that
usual,
I've read over where I've been like, eh,
a little lackluster. Some
eh.
of them that we read have been so insane. It's
Yeah.
so, yeah, it's hard. You get your normal ASI where it's just increase one of your ability scores by +1 to a maximum of 30. And then you get improve fate. When you or another creature within 60 feet of you succeeds on or fails a d20 test, you can roll 2d4 and apply the total rolled as a bonus or a penalty to the d20 roll. Once you use this benefit, you can't use it again until you roll initiative or finish a short or long rest.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I mean, it definitely has the possibility of being very powerful, but then also it has the possibility of not doing fuck all.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty good. Only because I mean it's 19th level, but it is nice that you're gonna have one every fight.
Yeah,
Every single fight, you'll have this little thing in the back of your pocket that doesn't take an action or a reaction or anything. There's no action
very
economy
true.
involved.
Very true.
You're doing double bane. Just it's
True.
one roll, so it's like, but yeah, to have this in your back pocket, man, does that feel good? To just be like, whatever, man. Like 2d4. That is make it or break it. Could be huge, could be nothing. And
Yeah,
then at level 20,
very volatile.
Eldritch Master. Here, you can use that magical cunning feature, but you regain all of your expended spell slots.
Nice.
God, my mouth
Nice.
is going to sleep, I think. uh I mean, yeah, sick. Cool, man.
Yeah.
I get all my spell slots back. Love to see it, I guess. That's 4 spell slots back in a minute. Obviously, that could be really, really huge.
Yeah.
Four,
For
five,
Warlock,
fifth level
yeah.
spell slots. Now, yeah, because they're not that pact magic is different than mystic arcanum, so it's
Hmm.
only gonna get you your 5th level spell slots back, not your other ones.
Hmm.
But still, hey, pretty cool, pretty cool, pretty cool. Can't be mad, can't be mad. Now, let's get into a little bit of subclass drama because we got some deal makers here, and we're starting off with a classic, the Archfey. Taylor, do you want to talk to us about the Archfey?
Sure, I'll talk to us about the Archfey.
I mean, unless
Um,
you're more drawn to the
it,
next one, if you're
no, it's
more
cool.
drawn
I've
to the
got it. I've already
Fiend
got it open.
or
I've
the
already got
Celestial,
it.
excuse me. All right.
I got it open right here. Yeah. So Archfey packed whatever. Warlock. Level
Man, we're
3.
crushing it.
We are absolutely in case you haven't noticed, we have no outline for this one tonight. So we're just kind of freewheeling on everything.
We're wheeling and dealing.
Yeah. So you do get your pack spells for each, well, I guess it's not pack magic anymore, or packed spells, but the Archfey Warlock spells. Um at level 3, we get Calm Emotions, Fairy Fire, Misty Step, Phantasmal Force, and Sleep. At level 5, you get Blink and Plant Growth. At level 7, Dominate Beast, Greater Invisibility. And then level 9, Dominate Person and Seeming. I love this spell list.
It's
It's
pretty
very
good.
rad. And they did make a change in between 2014 and 2024, where in the 2014 version of Warlock, when you get this extra spell list, it's just an expanded spell list that you can pick from. So
Mm-hmm.
even if you were using one of the spells that was on this spell list, it would still count against your known spells. These ones are now in 2024, they've changed that. Now your packed spells are your packed spells. You have them at whatever level. At level 3, you get all of the spells as prepared spells. Plus, you still get your spell. Plus, you still get your normal prepared spells, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad it's a very much needed tweak in my opinion, and I like it.
Agreed.
Also at level 3, we get Steps of the Fae. This is a really fun ability. I would find it hard not to spam. Except for the fact that I have no spell slot, so I can't do it. Or well, it gets better. So anyway, Patron grants you the ability to move between the boundaries of the plane. You can cast Misty Step without expending a spell slot a number of times equal to your charisma modifier and regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So if you're rocking a 5, that's 5 extra uses of Misty Step for free. Here's where it gets really fun. Whenever you cast this, I'm looking at the level 6 one. I read ahead too soon. When you cast the spell, though, you do get fun effects. You can pick one of these two effects when you do Misty Step, either Refreshing Step, which will give you, right after you teleport, either you or a creature you can see within 10 feet gains 1d10 temporary hit points, or Taunting Step. Creatures within 5 feet of the space you left must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your spell save, or they have disadvantage on attack rolls against creatures that are not you until the start of your next turn. So super,
Sick.
super rad. Yeah. I love extra
So
Misty
good.
Steps. I love popping around the battlefield. That's so much fun. And being able to do it a bunch of times is rad.
Yeah. Yep. There's also a world where you could get really nitty gritty with 2024's rules because of the way that magic actions work in different things.
Mhm.
Because there's really specific wording with like, because you're using your Misty Step in a way that's not expending a spell slot.
Right.
That means that you could use your action to do something that does expend a spell slot, or like it's like a magic item thing, kind of like there's ways where
Right.
that, because if it's worded that way, where you can get really min-maxy.
I like that. But yeah, I mean, in general, really good ability. It gets even more broken at level 6. At level 6, you get Misty Escape. It allows you to cast Misty Step as a reaction in response to taking damage. In addition, you can also add one of these options, or not add, but these two options are added to the list of options that you have with Misty Step. So, in addition to Refreshing Step and Taunting Step, you could choose Disappearing Step, which gives you the invisible condition until the start of your next turn, or until immediately after you make an attack roll, deal damage. Normal, regular invisibility rules. Or you can do Dreadful Step. Creatures within 5 feet of the space you left or the space you appear in, and you can choose, must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 2d10 psychic damage. It's a little bit of extra damage. When I first read it, I thought you could do one from the level 3 pool and one from the level 6 pool. No, it's all the same. It's you have to pick one of, at level 6 you have 4 options instead of just 2 options. But still very cool. Disappearing Step is a rad spell if you're really effing hurt and you need to get out of combat.
Yeah. You're teleporting all over the giddity goddamn place.
Yeah.
And that's like level 6. You could get all of those things. And then there are other subclasses from other classes that also can give you Misty Steps using a different resource, which would double in with your Warlock Archfey stuff, and you would be doing extra damage and doing these other effects even more often. So it's like, and that doesn't even include if you're using actual spell slots, like if you multi-class as like a sorcerer or something.
Right.
Like it's insane. It's just nuts. That's why I chose this subclass.
It's a lot of fun.
And I Misty stepped one time in the entire campaign.
Wow.
Story reasons. It made sense story-wise. Mechanically, it broke my heart, but story-wise, I had to do it. I had to do it. Oh, it was so hard, man. It's hard when you accidentally build a character with too many bonus action options.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, fuck, I have so many options. But
But yeah, moving on to level 10, you get beguiling defenses. You are now immune to the charm condition.
yeah, love
Rad.
that.
And in addition, immediately after a creature you can see hits you with an attack roll, you can take a reaction to reduce the damage by half, and you can force the attacker to make a wisdom saving throw against your spell save. If they fail, they take psychic damage equal to the damage that you just took. Once you use this reaction, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest, or you can use a past packed magic spell slot to restore your use of it.
Whoa. That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. There's like a Oath of Redemption Paladin had that channel
Mm-hmm.
divinity. Very
Mm-hmm.
similar. Okay. Sick, sick, sick.
Yep.
Whoa. The next one is so broken.
Yeah. And then finally at level 14, you get bewitching magic. Your patron gives you the ability to weave your magic with teleportation immediately after you cast an enchantment or illusion spell using an action and a spell slot. You can cast Misty Step as part of the same action without expending a spell slot.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
wild.
You're literally Misty stepping all the time. It's so cool though. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
I mean, I want to play. Now it's making me just think of Nightcrawler. It's making me think of Jumper. Remember the movie
Mm-hmm.
Jumper? Dude, I fucking
I
love that
do
movie.
remember.
So
Do you
good.
remember Jumper?
Ah, jump, 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 jump. So fucking cool, dude. Holy shit. All right, dude. I love that.
Oh yeah.
Archfey one's sick. It's really
Archfey
cool.
is rad.
Now, as a DM, how you play that Archfey can go in so many directions. You can go pure whimsy. You can go creepy as fuck and go like really, really dark and like hag like or something like I can tell you, and it's no surprise to anybody who knows him. When Daniel Hargrove plays your Archfey patron, it's fucking terrifying.
What? No.
It's fucking
Daniel
scary.
Daniel being scary?
It's scary.
No.
It's scary. His name was Mirth. He was scary. Mirth Wanderlust, and he was so scary. Dude, wait till you see the artwork too. It's fucking crazy. Anyway, moving on. Celestial Patron. Shout out Allie and Viz, the unicorn, who I've been low key like in my brain, just been like, he's kind of like Archfey vibes. So, whoops. Here, your patron is part of the upper planes, baby. You're looking at unicorns, sphinxes, quaddles, angels, whatever you want it to be, really. Although you can have fun with it. For your spells, we're looking at the third level aid, cure wounds, guiding bolt, lesser restoration, light, sacred flame. At fifth level, daylight, revivify. Seventh level, guardian of faith, wall of fire. No hate like Christian love, baby. Wall of fire in the burning hells. Love the sinner, hate the sin. Sorry. Anyway, level 9, greater restoration. Summon celestial. Level 3, healing light.
Oh,
You
man.
gain. This is actually very cool.
Yeah.
All joking aside, this ability is really cool. Healing light, you gain the ability to channel celestial energy to heal wounds. You have a pool of d6s and you can heal people, and it's a bonus action, which is fucking sick. So you get a number of dice. It depends on the level of warlock that you are. That's how many dice you get. So that's amazing
One
because it's
plus your
only going to
warlock
get better. It, and just when you thought it couldn't get any better, it gets better. And if you call now, and if you call right now for just 3 payments, as a bonus action, you can heal yourself or one creature that you can see within 60 feet of yourself, expending dice from the pool. The maximum, here's the only tiniest caveat that sometimes can be so annoying. The maximum number of dice that you can expend at one time equals your charisma modifier. So if your modifier is a +5, you can only heal somebody 5d6 as that bonus action.
That's still.
It's great. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's a damper, of course, because of the way the numbers
absolutely.
work. But
Yeah.
no, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just is like, okay, that's how we're going to balance, I guess. You roll the dice you expend, restore that number of hit points, and you regain all of those on a long rest. So it's a great healing resource.
Yeah.
Really, really nice to have. An incredible bonus action option. 60 feet is really good. Can't beat it. Level 6, we get Radiant Soul. Now you become a conduit for radiant energy. Number 1, you have resistance to radiant damage. Good luck having radiant damage happen to you, but hey, maybe.
It's
and
fair.
Once per your turn, I just have never seen it happen. Not literally, obviously it can happen, but not often. But once per turn, when a spell that you cast deals radiant or fire damage, you can add your charisma modifier to the spell's damage. There you go.
Okay.
There you go, buddy. Hey, hey, turn that frown upside down. Hey, look at that. You know, one of your spell slots just got a little bit more dangerous. A +5, maybe? Here you go. Here you go, kiddo. Level 10, when you're just a little bit older, at level 10, Celestial Resilience. You gain temporary hit points whenever you use your magical cunning feature or finish a short or long rest. These temporary hit points are equal to your Warlock level plus your Charisma modifier. And hey, while you're at it, choose up to 5 of your friends that you can see, and when you gain those points, and give them those points also, except it's going to be equal to half of your Warlock level plus your Charisma modifier. Interesting. Half of your No, that's all right. That sounds right. That's the same as it was in 2014. Sorry. At levels 14, Searing Vengeance.
Jesus Christ. It's just Christian trauma dumped into it.
Just like picture you
Dumped
you're walking into a church and it's just a stained glass thing of like Mother Mary, but it's all red glass.
Yeah.
Lights coming through. When you or an ally within 60 feet of you is about to make a death saving throw, you can unleash radiant energy to save the creature. The creature regains hit points equal to half of its hit point maximum and can end the prone condition on itself. Each creature of your choice that's within 30 feet of the creature takes radiant damage equal to 2d8 plus your charisma modifier. And they have the blinded condition until the end of the current turn.
Okay.
Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until a long rest. I think Allie used this once. I think Allie used this one time so far, where there was a time when, I think Phallus was down and instead was like, just like, actually, no, half my hit points back and everything. That's a sick ass ability. So cool.
Yeah.
That one's really, really cool. I like it a lot.
I like that there's the blinded has no saving throw. The damage has no saving throw. It just, this happens.
Yeah, this is just happening to you. I love it. I love it. All right. Next up.
Next one. We are looking at the Fiend. I'm a fiend for fiends. No, that's a lower planes, demon lord, demogorgon, something archdevil. You pick your flavor of lower beings. Starting at level 3, you do get the Dark One's blessing. Awesome. When you reduce an enemy
and unto you as well.
And unto you as well, yeah. So when you reduce an enemy to 0 hit points, you get temporary HP equal to your charisma modifier plus your warlock level. And you also get this benefit if someone else kills an enemy within 10 feet of you. So if you kill an enemy or an enemy or someone else kills an enemy within 10 feet of you, you get temporary
Is
HP.
that little part new?
I think it might be.
I think it is.
I'll let you do the research because I have thoughts. I'm
doing the research now.
So I do have one little thing about this in that it's temporary HP and you can only get temp HP from one source. So it kind of locks you out of getting temp HP from other stuff. But is it new? Or has it been worded like this the whole time?
So here's the deal, Taylor. The part that says you also gain this benefit if someone else reduces a creature, that's new.
Okay.
It's always
Okay,
been
cool.
temporary hit points, and the
Right,
numbers,
right,
everything
right.
else has been kind of the same. But I
Right,
agree
right.
with you. I mean, we've done how many of these 2024 episodes so far? Temporary hit points are out of the wazoo, dude. You can get them thousands
Right.
of ways. Every
Right.
single freaking class has 3 different ways to get temporary hit points. And it's not that any one of them are bad, but I'll tell you what, when I'm looking at feats to take in 2024, not once have I considered inspiring leader,
Right.
where you give a cool speech and give everybody, guess what, temporary hit points? No, thank
Yeah.
you. What's the point?
Oh, right.
Ridiculous.
Everybody, we got
And
so
I'm
many
not
tip hit points.
suggesting that we make them stack
And we're
because
passing the same
then you
exam
would
to
have too many
you.
sources.
Right.
But like, so take a third of the abilities that currently give temporary hit points and make them healing and call it a
Yeah.
fucking day.
Yeah.
Goodness
That's it.
gracious.
Solved.
And
Anyway,
that's it. And we solved it. And now $1,000, please.
please, Wizards of the
Fork it
Coast.
over, wizards.
We know you got it. Come on.
Wizards of the roast. Fuck you guys.
Moving on to
Dumbass looking.
also at level 3, you do get a fiend spell list. Looking at level 3, Burning Hands, Command, Scorching Ray, Suggestion. Level 5, Fireball, Stinking Cloud. Level 7, you get Fire Shield, Wall of Fire. And then at level 9, one of my ultimate favorite spells, Geish and Insect Plague.
Interesting that the Fiend and the Celestial both get Wall of Fire.
Mm-hmm.
That's telling.
Because they're the same. Anyway, at level 6, you get the Dark One Zone Luck. You call on your Fiendish Patron to alter fate in your favor. When you make an ability check or saving throw, you can add a D10 to the roll. You can do this before seeing the roll, or after seeing the roll, but before any of the roll's effects happen. You can use the feature a number of times equal to your charisma modifier, but you can only use it once per roll. You gain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So, a little self-bardic. I like it. I'm here for it.
Okay, yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Level 10, you get Fiendish Resilience. You choose a damage type other than Force whenever you finish a short or long rest, and you get resistance to the damage type until you choose a different one the next rest.
It's so powerful. That's so good.
Rad. Super rad.
So
Extra
good.
super rad.
Yeah. Literally, except for one type.
Yeah, it does make it hard given the range, and you get to only pick one, unless you know what you're coming up against. It's medium, but if you do know what you're coming up against, absolutely. I'm using that
No
every
doubt. I mean,
goddamn
if you
time,
don't
yeah.
know what you're going up against, I'd say 33.33 repeating, of course, bludgeoning, piercing, slashing.
Yeah.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this next ability is truly, it reminds me of this person I knew who only slept with clowns. Fucking bonkers. This next one is fucking bonkers, dude. Tell her that joke.
Level 14, you get to hurl people through hell. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack roll, you can try to instantly transport the target through the lower planes. The target has to succeed on a charisma saving throw, and your spell save DC, or charisma saving throw against your spell save DC, or the target disappears and hurls through a nightmare landscape. It takes 8d10 psychic damage if it isn't a fiend, and has the incapacitated condition until the end of your turn when it returns to the space it previously occupied or the nearest unoccupied space. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest, or you can expend a pack magic spell slot to restore your use of it. And there's no action required to do that. So yeah, I mean, theoretically, you could just, anytime you hit, as long as you have spell slots, you could do this. You could do this up to 5 times at level 14? 4 times and then 5 times by the end, theoretically.
I mean, yeah, you're doing it so many times. It's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's really good. That's a really good that's a really good thing. Really good ability.
Yeah.
I
And
like
it's so
the
fun.
I like
It's
the
so
like
like,
imagery of it.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's giving oh
Ghost
God, what was
Rider.
his name? Yes, that's a fucking awesome reference. Now I was thinking something else, but I was thinking Misfits and Magic and fucking
Yeah.
Evan
Oh
Kempf,
yeah, yeah.
whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And thinking of that.
Show him his
But
own death.
truly that haunting visual,
Yeah.
that episode. And they animated it later on. But anyway, so our last one for the Warlock in 2024 is the Great Old One Patron. This is your, your Cthulhu's,
Mhm.
your Thera's Dunes, your Chained Gods, your Zargon, the Returners, Hadar, the Dark Hunger, what have you,
What have you? Have you?
probably the Great Bambino.
Rodney Mullen.
Rodney Mullen, in my brain was a fiend, but
Hmm.
only because I thought it was funny because I think in actuality he would probably
He's
fall
the
closer to either Great Old One or like Celestial or
yeah.
something. But I had him as a fiend because I wanted to take like this idea of like, whoa, dude, everyone just chill, bro. And what if you just take that all the way, all the way, all the way
Chill.
until eventually they're like, people are dying. You're like, dude, whatever, man. You're just like, no problem, bro. It's like there's war, and you're like, no way, man. Not my monkeys, not my barrel, dude. You're just like, you gotta eventually get involved, Switzerland. What the fuck? So anyway, Great Old One, level 3. You start off with Awakened Mind. Mostly, this is going to be remarkably similar to 2014, with the exceptions that we've already talked about with like the spells and stuff. But Awakened Mind, yeah, telepathic connection between you and another. Bonus action, choose a creature that's within 30 feet of yourself that you can see. You and that chosen creature can now communicate telepathically with each other as long as the two of you are within a certain number of miles equal to your charisma modifier, minimum of 1 mile. To understand each other, you have to mentally use a language that the other one knows. So you do need to share a language either way, pretty much.
Hmm.
And that telepathic connection lasts a certain number of minutes equal to your warlock level. It ends early if you use this feature to connect with a different creature. So you can just kind of keep popping these on and off over and
Right.
over and over again, you know? So it's a
Hmm.
really cool ability because you just get it. And
Yeah.
now you can talk telepathically anytime you want to without needing to do some of the rigmarole of like the message spell. A lot of DMs are very lax about the message spell, but technically speaking, you're pulling out a small copper wire and you're whispering into it. It's not a telepathic thing,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
if I cast message to Taylor, Taylor might like dude, that's a flavor thing. Like Taylor could hear it in his brain, but like in order for Taylor to speak back
There's
to me,
verbal,
there's words. Yeah.
somatic, and material components to that spell
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
VSM
A
spell.
big time. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, like suggestion isn't just somebody cleverly going, I suggest you
No.
leave this place. Like that's not how that spell works. Um, unless you've talked about it with your DM beforehand, and the DM's like, that sounds cool, let's run it that way. Then
Right.
that's different, but like technically. So you're gonna get these Great Old One spells. Level 3, you get Detect Thoughts, Dissonant Whispers, Phantasmal Force, Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Level 5, you're gonna get Clairvoyance and Hunger of Hadar. Level 7, Confusion, Summon Aberration. And level 9, Modify Memory, Telekinesis. Those all make sense,
Yep.
right? They're fucking divination, they're psionic in nature, that
Hmm.
totally track. Now, you also are going to get psychic spells. So when you cast a warlock spell that deals damage, you can change the type to psychic damage. So in addition, when you cast a warlock spell that's an enchantment or an illusion, you can do so without using any verbal or somatic components.
Oh yeah.
Unbelievably powerful.
Yeah.
So cool to be able to do that. Now, level 6, Clairvoyant combatant. Now, when you form a telepathic bond with a creature using your awakened mind, you can force that creature to make a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, the creature has disadvantage on attack rolls against you, and you have advantage on attack rolls against that creature for the duration of the bond. Once you use this feature, you cannot use it again for a short or a long rest unless you expend a packed magic spell slot. No action required to restore your use of it. Interesting. Interesting
It's like
indeed.
using predicting what they're going to do by being in their mind while they're planning the attack.
Yeah, truly. You got a freaking mole, and it's me in your brain. I'm the mole. I'm there.
Also,
Sniffing
there's
one of
there's
those
one on your
star-nosed
thigh. You should
bulls.
probably get checked out.
God, this is a crazy ability. So
Yeah.
it's really fun because obviously that opens up the idea. Because like when you first hear the level 3 awakened mind ability, you're mostly thinking like, okay, I can talk to my friends. Like I will be able to communicate through walls and da-da. You don't really think like I'm going to talk in somebody's head and freak them the fuck out. But clairvoyant combatant reminds you level 3 awakened mind doesn't say anything about only doing it to a friend. You just do it to somebody else, man.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you're just in their head for a certain amount of time. There's no saving throw. That's crazy.
Yes,
What do you mean?
Clairvoyant.
Charisma modifier. Awakened mind. No, awakened mind, I'm saying. To just talk to a creature you can see within 30 feet of yourself. Is just you do that. So you just hey, I'm your conscience. It's crazy. Okay. Eldritch Hex at level 10. Your alien patron grants you a powerful curse. You always have the Hex spell prepared. And when you cast Hex and you choose an ability, the target has disadvantage on the saving throws for the duration of the spell. Okay.
That
Hex
makes
just
Hex
got a
viable.
lot more useful. A lot more useful. Because up until now, you almost should only ever use it on strength because maybe grapples.
Right.
But other than that, I've never seen a use for it in any other context, unless like you're going against a rogue and high checks or something. But like, come on.
Right.
At level 10, you also get Thought Shield. Your thoughts cannot be read by telepathy or other means unless you allow it. You're the boss. Hey, JG Money Wentworth, it's my money and I want it now. You also have resistance to psychic damage. And whenever a creature deals psychic damage to you, that creature takes the same amount of damage that you take.
Yeah. Damn.
Awesome, dude. That's awesome. Here's what we do, Taylor. Oh, wait. Geish was the one that the fiend got, isn't it? I was going to do. We cast Geish on them, and then we say, do psychic damage to me as many times as you can. Ha! Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
Oh, no, I'm dead. No, I still take that damage.
Oh, no. Level 14. At level 14, you can create a thrall. We've always wanted one. When you cast Summon Aberration, you can modify it so that it doesn't require concentration. If you do so, the spell's duration becomes 1 minute for that casting, and when summoned, the aberration has a number of temporary hit points equal to your temporary hit points. You rear your ugly head once again, equal to your warlock level plus your charisma modifier.
Sure.
In addition, the first time each turn the aberration hits a creature under the effect of your hex. Whoa, this is a thinker, man. The aberration deals extra psychic damage to the target equal to the bonus damage of that spell. Well, interesting. Requires a little bit of setup. Requires a little bit of setup. But once you have summon aberration up and you got hex on somebody, then boom, your aberration is benefiting off that hex, just like you're benefiting off that hex. You're not even concentrating on summon aberration. Pretty cool. It's got temporary hit points. You equal to
Yeah.
at least, you figure
I
at
like
14 you probably have a
summons with
5,
temp
so that's like
HP.
19
Yeah.
temporary hit points for that guy. Pretty solid, pretty solid. Obviously you're gonna have a lot of fun figuring out what that aberration looks like.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. I mean,
Because
obviously
like
this is always a
aberrations are this
fun.
weird Cthulhu-esque style monster, not necessarily the patrons of those planes, but like the weird like mind
Beholders.
flayers and beholders and weird shit.
They're like the alienish ones,
Alien.
the
Yeah,
ones that
yeah,
are the
yeah.
most alien. Yeah, the
Yeah.
craziest ones. But I mean, gosh, warlocks are so fun.
Mm-hmm.
They're just such a blast. And I love having them in my games when I'm a dungeon master because I love being able to play as deities or patrons in any way because it's just such an easy way to get involved into the story in a really
Mm-hmm.
direct way. You know what I mean? We hear all the time about how people have like DM inserts. Like, oh,
Yeah.
this is the DM NPC. And it's like, that's fine and everything. And I love that to a certain degree. I have my own. But
Mhm.
when you're playing as a character's deity or the character's patron, I mean, talk about having a pretty established relationship that has some weight behind it in either
Yeah.
regard.
Yeah.
Even if they're playing a class that isn't necessarily all based around that. Like you could play a fucking, I don't know, a barbarian who just really worships a deity, and even then it's interesting and fun. So I do love warlocks so much. I also do like playing them. I love charisma classes, so that's obviously part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Um,
am a fan of the charisma.
and I've had a lot of fun with it too. I know in our home game, Viz has been so fun to play because they started as this celestial warlock that was like, hey, don't kill anybody.
Mm,
Like, don't, not needlessly, at least. Like
right.
if they can be imprisoned and go to jail, then do that. If it's life or death, it is what it is. But like, don't just needlessly kill people. Don't
Right.
be a murder hobo, so to speak. And then up until now, where they're like, hey, those gold diamonds, remember I was just talking about them? Fucking where are they, dude? I need them. I need them now. I need them yesterday, actually. So if I don't get them, guess who's you? You've been liking the powers I've been giving you, huh? How about you fucking give me the diamond, man? How about you just give me the fucking diamond, man? It just gets crazy, dude. And I love it. It's so fun to play. There was one
uh,
time, and it was an episode that you weren't there for, unfortunately. And it was like a not a buddy cop episode, but it was like
mm,
Sonny and Fellis, our other two players.
yeah.
And Viz came in. Viz popped in and was like, I, I'm like stealing the two of you, and we're doing a thing. And it was this huge dating game show, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like they did the one. So Fellis is sitting in a chair. There's a
Mhm,
big curtain blocking her view of
mhm,
these three
mhm.
contestants. And it was like, contestant number one, if we were to go on a first date, where would you bring me? And it was just, oh, well, I'll probably bring you, I think, probably. I mean, my birds, they've got a lot of taking care of,
The
so I can never
bird
go
guy.
too far from the birds. So I need to probably stay close. I think there's probably a nice bar nearby, and they have nice ales. And yeah, it was Birdman, the
Birdman.
man who
Yeah.
can't read or write but runs a
But
postal
runs the
office
post
run by
office.
birds.
Naturally.
hmm
Naturally.
And then Thornsteel was one of them, and then
Of
there's another
course.
one, and it was really fun. And then there
Yeah.
was other competitions and other battles and stuff, and it was just such a blast because Viz, this unicorn patron, was appearing in a humanoid form as
Mm,
like the host with like one of those long microphones, like
mhm.
old school 70s game show,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and would be like, uh, and he had a person right off stage who was just like a hunky kind of like Abercrombie and Fitch model, shirtless, just holding those signs that say applause. And he would be like, next one, switch it to the next one. And it would be like, fuck, fuck, fuck. And the audience just goes, "Aw." And it was just like, it's so funny. And all of that is to say that this week's episode is brought to you by the Match Game. That game show that would be on the Game Show Network sometimes, and Betty White would be a contestant sometimes, and Richard Dalton and a bunch of other people. And I just used to watch that in college a lot. And so it's so weird that they reached out and they want to sponsor this episode, but here they are. Thanks so much,
It's
the Match
been
Game.
defunct for years.
Really
But
appreciate
anyway,
it. And your funny mics.
and your weird long mics. We like them. We're here for it. And that's all we can get into this time. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram at So You Want to Be a DM, or you can ask us a question at SoYouWantToBeADM at gmail.com. If you like the episode, don't forget to give us 5 stars and a review wherever you found us, and check out the Patreon, Twitch, and our merch with the link in the description. Join us next time for more Dungeon Master tips and tricks.
Bye.
See ya.
Hey gang, it's Justin. I have the honor of giving a shout out to the members of our Patreon gang. Nub Muffins, may Palor's light shine upon you. Marsavies, have you watered your flesh prison lately? Yazvai, the eternal library where color and community await you. Molly Adeza, who gets yet another level up. And there's Elijah, Tappy, and Linguini. Gang, we appreciate and love you. Tune in next time for more tips and tricks from So You Want to Be a DM.